Peace, peace. Welcome back to Humble Beginnings, where we simply live it through. I am your gracious host, KJ. And I think I got another one for us, people. We're going to definitely have a great conversation, but I'm going to go ahead and bring my team up because it would not be possible if I don't come through with my team. So, first up, got my brother Nate. What's going on with you, brother?
So what's up?
Ain't nothing, man. Ain't nothing. Got Matty B always rocking with me. What's up with you, bro?
What's good, fam? Let's do it.
Got the girl Izzy back with us again. What's happening with you, Miss Lady?
Hey, everybody.
What's going on? Got Priest rocking with me, of course, all the time. What's up with you?
What's up?
Cool. And we also got Miss Petra rocking with us again. Okay. How's everybody doing?
Good.
How's everybody's Memorial Day, man? You know it's a holiday, man. How y'all feeling?
Great, man. I'm feeling awesome myself.
Okay.
Cool, man. Y'all cooked out or whatnot?
A little bit, yeah.
I have just been chilling at home, taking it easy, paying respect.
Okay, enjoying that extra day off of work.
Absolutely.
I felt it was only right to do a show like today about appreciation. Simply, you know what I'm saying? This is a day that we show our appreciation to, the troops and everybody who put their lives on the line and stuff like that for the country and everything. So I think, Memorial Day was a good day to do a show about appreciation. But we're going to probably tackle a lot of relationship things in this show. Just a heads up for y'all. So, man. So let's get this thing rolling. Now, when I pose my first question, it's a very, very simple question, and it may seem shallow in the beginning, but I'm always working the angle. So, first things first, the question that I want to know, man, is what makes us special? Since we're talking about appreciation and having this thing for other people, but what makes us special? And I don't mean we don't have to dive into this as very super specific. I mean overall, what makes us special as people? What are the things that we look at humanity? What makes us special? So y'all ain't got to get into y'all personal lives and see, individualism, all right? So just what makes us special overall as people? Nate, talk to me, man. What makes us special, man?
I would say having our senses makes us special. Being able to talk, touch, see, personality.
Okay. Matt, talk to me, man. What makes us special?
I would say our ability to evolve and adapt to things over the time since we've been here. The adaptation has been a lot of diseases, a lot of things that could have wiped out humanity. And over time, we've gotten stronger, we've gotten smarter. We have the ability to change things with words, with physical ability. I think just our ability to evolve, adapt over time.
Cool. Izzy, what makes us special, man? What you think, man?
I think what makes us special is, without going really deep into it, I just think the mere fact that, there's not one person that's the same. We all have a uniqueness to us that makes us us. So, I think that's, one of the key ingredients that makes each individual really special.
Cool. Caprice, what makes us special out here, man?
I'm agree with Izzy. I think our differences and our individuality makes us special.
Okay. Miss Petra, what makes us special out here?
Definitely our free will of adapting. That's definitely makes us special. Adaption, like adopting. Yeah.
I don't know if I see too much individuality out here no more, man. It's a lot of people that kind of the same nowadays. But continue on.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, we have them. It's just not too many people want to tap into their differences. Everybody seems like they want to be the same, though. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So when I pose the questions, I address this from a biological level. Like when I look at most living organisms, the one thing that typically make us unique and us special, at least as far as the Homo sapiens side of things, is our mentality. Like we have we are able to live outside of just our instinct. We have this thing where we're able to use our brain, which then makes us unique, which makes us a lot greater than a lot of the other animals. It's one of the reasons why we consider the most perfect game too, most dangerous game realistically, because everything is not instinctive. And if you were on this road of, say if it was a hunt that we put out there, it's a little more difficult to catch one of us than it is to catch, one of the wild animals, because all we got to do is understand the nature. But we, as humans, we typically learn how to build outside of just our nature, and we learn how to put our brains into a lot of things. And I think, from a biological level, I think that's one of the things that make us very special. And we choose to adapt. Man. I mean, we build, we choose to, we adapt to many things. And a lot of the things we take from, what I'm saying, what we see in animals, especially when we look at like more the archaic cultures, like Kemet or the Aztec and the Mayan civilizations and things of that nature. So I think personally that's what makes us special out here. Now, we're gonna home in a little, we're gonna narrow it down from the whole world and we're gonna talk about this country here. What do y'all think, man? Like, are we appreciated as minorities within this country? I want to know what y'all think about this. We talking about appreciation out here, man. Are we appreciated as minorities in this country? Izzy, talk to me.
I think we are. Like, whether it's like given to us verbally, whether it's like, shown to us by, like giving us, what we deserve, is here nor there. But I think we are definitely appreciated. We paved a lot of the culture in this society. I mean, it would be nice for us to like, actually like get the credit we deserve and, should receive. But just like the way things are today is like that's just not the case. But I do think we are definitely appreciated. And I think sometimes like in order to appreciate something, I think like in the moment, since it's here, since it's right now, we take it for granted until it's like taken away from us. Then it's like, okay, if we weren't a part of society, then I wonder what society would look like, So sometimes you don't even appreciate things until it's gone. There's a saying that says that. So I do think we are appreciated though.
Okay, cool. Matt, what you think, man? We appreciate it out here, man.
Yeah, I think we absolutely appreciate it. I think it shows every day. I think we have the same opportunities as everyone else, even as minorities. A lot of people complain, but at the same time, most people are in the whole entire world fight to get over here more so than any other country. So I definitely think, especially in this country, we're definitely appreciated and valued here. So I would say that.
Okay. Caprice, talk to me, man. You think we appreciate it out here in this country?
I do think we appreciate it. Do we get paid homage? Probably not. But I think as minorities, we have a good influence on society. With either it's like the way that we look, the way that we talk, what we eat, how we dress, the music that we listen to. So I think we have a huge influence on society. Now, do we really put out in society the things that should be out? That's a different story. But I do think we are appreciated.
Okay. Miss Petra, what you think? You think we appreciate it out here?
I mean, I definitely agree with Caprice. But there's like, not to really really magnify certain areas, but looking at it like completely in a long in a big global thing, definitely definitely I'm a little bit tongue tied, but yeah, I agree with Caprice.
Nate, man, talk to me, man. We appreciate it out here in our good old country, man.
I do feel like we are appreciated. Yeah.
Just like that. You ain't gonna elaborate?
No, like that.
Cool. So I would answer that. I definitely think we are. I agree with what Capri said. I definitely think we are appreciated because a lot of these ideas and things that typically come up, and a lot of these things that they're using, and even a lot of these a lot of things that they push forward today. I mean, I think we are definitely responsible. We have a lot of we have a lot of placement behind a lot of these things. Now, when it comes to homage, they definitely not gonna give us that. They're not gonna show us and be like, "Yo, yeah, they want, they did that. This person had this input in this." But I mean, overall, I definitely think they appreciate it. I don't think they would want to go without us completely. Personally, they might act like it, but it's like one of them things like you never miss your water till the well run dry. But I think as far as like innovation, especially we talk about innovation, I think we're a lot of innovative in a lot of aspects in the way that the world works. So I definitely think they do appreciate us. You know what I'm saying? I just think they just ain't gonna show it to us too much, man. You know what I'm saying? And I'm personally, it's not one of them things that bother me because I never really was one of the ones who needed to pat on the back or that I don't really need that. But I know some people do. So a lot of people would say that they don't feel appreciated because we don't get that homage paid to us. But I mean, everything don't have to be vocalized neither, man. Sometimes you gotta watch the inner workings too. So let's dive down even smaller, narrow this pathway a little bit more. So we was talking about overall in the country. Do y'all think men and women appreciate each other?
Who?
Men and women. We bottlenecking this thing now. We went from talking about a little bit about our viewances, then we talk more about the country. Now we're gonna narrow this thing down because it seems to be like some people call it a gender war up out there. I don't know what that means, but I hear people say that. So, they got these feminist movements and things of that nature. And sometimes it seems like we at odds. So I got a question that I pose. Do men and women appreciate each other? Caprice, start kicking that thing off, man. What you think?
So which one is the question first? Do men and women appreciate each other?
Yeah. Do men and women really appreciate each other? What you see from what you see today?
From what I see,
Mm-hmm.
I do think that men and women appreciate each other. I think it's a loud minority, especially on the internet, that's at this so-called war. But overall, the majority of men and women do appreciate each other.
Okay.
I just think it's a minority that's loud and that's pushing this feminist movement or this gender war on the internet. Because before the internet, before I got onto YouTube in the last 2 years, I had no idea of none of the stuff that was going on. So, yeah.
Okay. Izzy, what you think? You think men and women appreciate each other out here?
I think they do. But I just feel like, these times are really different. I think there's, a lot of resentment. And I think, like, sometimes I feel like it just goes hand in hand. Like, there's appreciation overall because, like, we need each other, So, like, we're trying to, like, coexist in this world where, it's just different times. But I don't know. I just feel like there's, like, a lot of resentment. Sometimes, like, things are brought into the relationship, whether it's like a relationship. Well, you're not asking about relationships. You're asking if they appreciate each other. But all in all, I'll just say yes. Yes, they do. I don't want to like elaborate too much, but like, yeah.
We gonna dive deeper.
Oh,
Miss
Lord.
Miss Petra, do you think men and women appreciating each other out here?
I feel that times definitely has changed, and it's getting lesser and lesser as and it's progressing much more less as far as appreciation. Um, because you notice that even when a guy opens up the door for a woman, and I have to like be a little bit more. Sometimes women don't say thank you, and And that's because of maybe she's just afraid of engagement in my lead into whatever. But and he might just be a straight up gentleman. God only knows. But just little things like that. But I don't know. I think all of us um are are living in times that is just like it's so shaky right now. So we don't know as far as like the morals and the values sort of thing. We're just going just you know just day by day sort of thing. And it's changing drastically, I must say. It's changing drastically. So but but yeah, that's my thing on that. Um because it definitely I've seen change. I've seen change.
All right, Nate, talk to me, man. You think men and women appreciate each other out here?
Yes and no. Yes, they appreciate each other because women are able to,
How you get a yes and a no?
because it is yes and no. Yes, they appreciate each other when it comes to equality. Women are allowed to do more things that men, like, that they weren't allowed to in the past. No, they don't appreciate each other because there's a lot of divorces, there's a lot of breakups. Like, so yes and no.
Cool.
I have something to add on.
Go ahead, Easy, do your thing.
So just like a small piece to like what I was saying, and kind of like I guess what Nathan was saying. I think like I think like men and women do appreciate each other, but also I feel like the appreciation is not like a longevity thing. It's basically there when you have something to offer, you have something that I want. Like I feel like with all men and all women, appreciation is just not like a standard basis. It like depends. Like, are you beautiful? Are you, older? Are you, this or that, the other? Like the appreciation like changes and shifts and maybe it increases or decreases. But I think mainly you have the most appreciation when you have something to offer.
Okay, that's fair. Matt, what you think, man? You think men and women appreciate each other out here?
I kind of agree with Petra and what Izzy kind of added on. I would say that definitely, if you go by the 40 and under, I would say definitely not. I don't think over the people that I meet that's typically under that in that age group, 40 and under, they don't have no appreciation for each other. It's more about characteristics of what you can do for me. But like genuinely, what I consider is appreciate the person, genuinely liking the person for who they are as a person, not for what it benefits you. Now, even in having a regular relationship with a person, a friendship, whatever, there's gonna be some benefit if I have somewhat relationships. But I'm talking about like the just characteristics of a person. Like, say, example, me and you, example, KJ. I appreciate you for the person you are, what you stand for, how you move. We can just have dope discussions and we build off that. We grew up together, so I appreciate the person you become. There's most people appreciate this person because they're making money for me, or they giving me sex, or they can help, or they can buy stuff for me. It's really not based on the characteristics of just vibing with that person with no benefit being done except conversation and just building a rapport with that person. So I would definitely say, and before I got on YouTube and before I started even looking at a lot of people on YouTube, I noticed this from direct contact with people, and maybe because I was in cities and I had a lot of conversation with people. I didn't just start getting this over YouTube. This has been something that's been going on for a while now. It's just that YouTube is highlighting it, so people that probably didn't know about it in smaller towns or probably didn't have a lot of conversations, they're just seeing it. But it's definitely always been something that's been happening since I would say me at 20 years old. Now maybe it happened before then, but at 20 is when I went to Dallas. It's 2010 to give some reference. When I went to Dallas in 2010, I definitely noticed there was no appreciation for each other and people just really wanting to how can it benefit me. And I think it comes from the expectations of how people are growing up as well today as well. They're growing up with expectations of a great relationship or a great friendship your life is just supposed to explode off, or it's supposed to be all these benefits. People really haven't been taught over the last 30 years of just building relationships just off of great people. It's more about what benefits you. It's all about coming up. So people don't appreciate just genuine people anymore. So that's what I say about that.
All right, I guess it's time for me to be triggering. I appreciate all y'all thoughts and y'all opinions. If I keep this thing here, Buck, man, as far as we appreciate that, had that appreciation for each other, especially we talk about today. No, we do not. And y'all know I deal with these words in a literal sense. Being appreciative is gratefulness, thankfulness. Most people, we take a lot of things for granted out here. We take people for granted out here. We're not appreciating cats out here today. No, we're not. We're not doing that. It's a lot, and you really see it. And I'm glad you mentioned that age range, but even the older cats, they're not doing that. And also, part of appreciative is raising in value. When we see in the community, and what's the community in which that we belong to, we're not raising no value here. We're not raising no level of appreciation. No, we're not. We're not gonna sell this illusion. We talk a lot of this, but no, we're not. We're not doing that. We do not have a level of appreciation. And I'm not even talking about men and women. I'm talking about the men for men and the women for women. We do not show this appreciation. I ain't even about to play with this game. No, we don't. We ain't even showing it when it come from men and women. Especially if we talking about the minority group. We ain't got no appreciation for each other. Mm-hmm. These women ain't really standing behind these men. These men ain't really supporting these women. We slandering every chance we get out here. Mm-hmm. So when we talking about this appreciation, now that's bull, dog. I don't believe that. I don't even see it from for the majority standpoint. No, we not. We is not doing that. We're not even doing things to raise value, because part of appreciation is the raising of value. We're not doing that out here. So when I answer this question, my answer is no, we're not. Yes, there are a few people who have those values and that thankfulness and that gratefulness, but most people today, they're ungrateful as hell. They're ungrateful as hell when it comes to you. So I gotta keep it a buck with that one. Nah, I don't see that. I just don't see it. What y'all think about my comments? I don't see it. Tell me what y'all see, because I don't see it.
I agree with you. I'm 100% on board with that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. What y'all think about it?
I agree with both and KJ. I feel like the age group level. Yeah.
What's up, Izzy and Caprice? What y'all think about it? I know y'all was kind of saying something a little different. So what's up?
Well, I do. I agree with what you're saying. I do. I don't know. Sometimes, I can't speak for everybody, truly. I can only speak for myself and how I see the world, whether that's through rose-colored lenses or not. I do think that appreciation, as I was saying earlier, decreases. And I guess I think appreciate. I don't think everybody is just gonna be so appreciative at all times. I'm sure there's an appreciation for certain things, as little as being appreciative for living in a place with air conditioning, or with lighting, or certain things like that. There's so many appreciation is endless. And I think there is a certain appreciation, but I don't think after a certain time it's you adjust like humans do. You adjust to being appreciative, and then you move on to the next thing, So it's I think it's an unrealistic expectation for people to always be super, super, super appreciative for everything, because it's endless. That spectrum goes deep. So
I think it was tied. I think it's tied into relationships with other people, though. I don't think it's tied into just being appreciated to things in general.
That's true. That is true. But just with people, I guess I mean, I'm trying to relate inanimate objects and things like that to people as well, because it's they are different, but I just feel when you're it's supposed to be the standard, for I feel with certain men to do certain things in relationships versus women. For me, for everybody, it's different. So I think that's where the relationship of appreciation gets messed up, because everybody appreciates different things as well. I feel there should be a standard of appreciation, and then we can go off of that. But
You said rose-colored glasses, so you felt like the people that came in your life have really appreciated you genuinely for you over your lifetime.
Oh no.
So what rose-colored glasses would you be talking about?
I'm talking about for myself, like, and what I appreciate. Like, I
Oh, you
appreciate,
talking just you specifically?
yeah.
Oh, you said rose-colored glasses. I'm thinking you've seen something that's make you see it. So you saying that's just based on what you do.
Yes.
So you don't see it then.
I mean,
You just do it.
in general, I think that, like, there definitely appreciation has lost its value in things. I don't know. It's hard. It's a hard question to answer. It's like,
If you say you don't see it, then it means you don't see it.
I
A
don't
lot of
see it.
things.
I don't see
A
it. I
lot.
don't see it. I'm trying to be optimistic. I don't see
Okay,
it.
yeah, so you don't see it. You try to make it be there. If you don't see
I'm
it.
trying. I was trying my best. I was trying.
A
I
lot
saw
of
it too.
things.
I saw it too. I was like, I
Yeah.
appreciate the fact that you're trying to really savor that, but
Yeah.
I was like, that's nice. I was like, in my mind, I was thinking, I was like, and I appreciate the fact that she really trying to save face over here. What you was about to say, Miss Gretchen?
So, again, there's a lot of values and morals that it goes intertwined with what we're actually speaking of. And it's a lot of that lacking in today's society. Whether if it's young and going older now too. And I mean, I don't want to go into much more into specifics of that, but one thing what I can honestly say is definitely social media plays a big role in this. But we could just spin off of that, but it's just a lot of values and morals that's been lost, and that appreciation is not there. And a lot of and it's sad because we don't tend to value each other the way that we're supposed to. Even for something simple as far as like saying thank you, of a opening up of a door, or just even your man coming, he's coming home from work from a hard day work, and you're actually gonna cook him a nice meal. I'm old fashioned, so I'm sorry, ladies, but
That's what I'm talking about. I need a
I
nice
love
meal.
to do things like that. So and I'm also a grandmother, so I like to actually host and cater and whatever have you. So I like to show my appreciation, and not even like as far as like if they just coming in from a days of work or whatever, and it's not even hard. I mean, I'll still do whatever I need to do because of their presence. I just appreciate them of them just being there. But yeah.
Nah, I
But
got you. I got
I'm seeing where Izzy is coming from, and it's so interesting because her vantage point of view is coming from a different age group. So I'm trying to really wrap myself on that too, because it does make sense if I was to be in her age group.
But she
So
said she don't see it. She said she don't see it either though. So
well, I'm not.
Izzy was
Okay.
trying to be optimistic. Izzy was trying to just be more optimistic about it. She ain't been seeing that thing. That's why she used that reference of the rose-colored glasses.
No, like, I really. So thank you, but I really like. I think like appreciation is like it's something that's earned too. You know what I mean? Like, okay, you're coming home from work and things like that, and I'm gonna make you I'm a traditional person, so I'm gonna make you a meal. Going off of that topic, like, like, what if you don't like, it goes with values too. Like, in order to appreciate something, you have to know that person values you. So like, let's say if, like, that person does work hard, it's almost not going to go appreciated, or it's going to not, I guess, like, just not as matter as much to that person if, like, you don't value that person, if you don't treat them the same, or you don't reciprocate that same action. It doesn't have to be in the same way, but like, and like,
Right.
I definitely think social media has played a part in it because let's say example the average female that's on Instagram, Facebook, whatever social media platform. It's gonna be hard to appreciate a guy when you got 100 guys every day in your inbox telling you they can do something for you. So when one guy maybe really care about you is doing something for you, are you really gonna value that person? As soon as something happens, like, oh, I can just get anybody. I got 50 guys that want to take me to buy shoes. I got 50 guys that want to take me out to dinner. So they're not gonna feel no appreciation towards it. So they looking at you as just another number. It becomes another number to them. So I definitely think social media plays a part in it.
I got a question for the panel because Izzy said something that I thought was quite interesting. Izzy mentioned about appreciation having to be earned. Now, personally, when I hear that, I totally disagree. I don't see why one would have to earn appreciation, like, because, and this just like when people talk about, even when people talk like biblically, and they be like, "Yo, every day you wake up, you're appreciative of life and all these other stuff like that." Like, you're not earning these things. Like, I'm appreciative of my kids, but my kids ain't got to do nothing that make me feel like I'm appreciative of them. Like, I appreciate them without them having to do anything. I appreciate them because of who they are, like, and what, like, you know, and what it is. Like, so I want to hear what everybody else think, but I kind of disagree with the concept of appreciation having to be earned. So y'all tell me what you think. Caprice, what you think? You think appreciation has to be earned?
I don't know. Everybody is different. I don't know.
I'm asking you about you.
For me?
Yeah, I'm asking you about you.
I don't think it's necessarily earned, but I have to see you as a person. Like, it has to be something about you that I appreciate. Like, okay, I appreciate you for being a human being, but what's besides that? Like, am I supposed to appreciate? So I have to get to know you and start finding the things that I appreciate about you. It's just not going to be, if we going deep into appreciation, okay, the first initial contact with this person, it just be, I appreciate, you know, the conversation, or I appreciate you as a human being. But when you go further into it, it's like, okay, what do I appreciate about this person? And you got to find those things.
Matt,
I don't know if that means earn or not.
Yeah, I kind of agree with Izzy somewhat that not, well, I don't know if she's saying earn like it's one way, but I think on both ends though, I would say it's definitely two-way. I think it has to be a two-way relationship for people. I mean, for you to have appreciation for that other person, or you can actually have appreciation for that other person just for what they do. You know, even if they may not appreciate you. But I would definitely say it wouldn't come for just randomly meeting a person. They would have to do something, not necessarily proving it to you, but something that you value, whether it's a relationship, whether it's a friendship, it got to be something you value, but maybe not earned. So I would say it definitely would have to be something that you value about them, but for that appreciation to be there. I don't know if earned is the right word.
Y'all setting up my next question real good too. Let me get the rest of y'all. Nate, what you think, man? What you think?
I think it depends on the person. Some people are just naturally appreciative, and then other people just aren't at all.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
Ms. Petra, what you think? What you think? You think it has to be earned?
Most of the time, I think. Well, I agree with the last. What's your name? Wait, Nate. Definitely. Dios mío. I feel like I'm always I'm like in a game show or something. My God, forgive me, Lord. Forgive me, Kevin.
Come on, man. Talk to me.
But I pass on that. Oh my God, I got a brain fog. I'm sorry.
So I'm glad. One of the things I'm glad about, because that's why I said this helps set up my next question, because this was my question that comes in next. So I was noticing that when we're talking about appreciation, there's two different things that we're wavering here. Mm-hmm. Y'all are separating and y'all are drawing appreciation when we talk about the person, and then y'all are kind of pointing that toolage as well of what people can do and what people bring forward. So it took me to my question, which I had set up was is there more appreciation for the person, or is it more appreciation for their toolage? Which means, do we appreciate this person for genuinely this person, or does our appreciation will lie more with what you can bring and what you can do? Because that's two different things.
Right.
Appreciating the person
I'm
and
thinking
then
both.
appreciating what they bring forward.
They
So
both
my
coincide at
question
the
is,
same
which one y'all
time.
think? Which
I
one
think
of y'all
it's
think
a
the
mixture
appreciation
of
lies
both.
more? No, okay, I got you. We're
I
gonna get
think
to it.
it.
So which one lies more? Caprice, since you talking, I want you to go first on it. Which one you think lies more?
I think it's a mixture of both. I can't give you which one lies more. I think for short term appreciation, it would just be that person, about that person. But for longevity in the future, it would be the toolish that they bring into the relationship. So it's a mixture of both.
Respect. Nate, what you think? You think got more appreciation for the toolage, or they more appreciative of the person? Or more, tell me about you. I want to hear about y'all.
Personally, me, it's for the person. I have more
Mhm.
appreciation for the person when I meet them. I could care less about what they can bring to the table. All that can be worked out in growing with each other.
Okay. Matt, talk to me, man. What you think? What do you think this appreciation is? You think this is more for the people, or you think this is more for the toolage?
For me personally, I would say it's the person, because the toolage can always go away. If it's genuinely that person, that toolage is gonna come anyway. If that person genuinely is a certain type of person, that can always be there. But that toolage that can be faked, that could be temporarily. That can always that's kind of fleeting. That can always go. So you can feel like somebody's benefiting you, and they rip you off a week later or a year later or something, or they sleep with your woman 6 months later or something. Anything can happen, but that if they genuinely are a good person, I have the appreciation for them, because I like genuinely good people.
Miss Petra, what you think? You think this appreciation is coming more for the people or for the toolage that they bring?
I agree with Matt. Definitely. My God, I hate this brain fogs. Definitely. You know, the genuine side is definitely gonna come out as far as the interaction. And I'm speaking for myself, like um, when I interact with someone, I always give my 100%, and I give them the benefit of the doubt. Now, if they don't reciprocate, then I know they're not, down for the cause, sort of thing. But but for me, I guess I'm just so old school, so I just give people the benefit of the doubt. So I don't know. So.
The benefit of the doubt, you just give them. Go ahead, Kim.
Hold on, wait, my bad. Go ahead,
Go
Matt.
ahead.
Go
Oh,
ahead.
the benefit of the doubt of what?
That they're gonna actually be reciprocating the same energy that I'm giving back to them. And if they don't, then I just
Yeah, I'm about to say you're gonna be let down a lot
it's
of
not
times.
even meant to be.
You're giving them
You
the
know?
benefit of the doubt of a good person.
Yes, and most of the time sadly, like I said, you're not gonna get that type of energy back. And we
Definitely not.
have these high expectations, and we shouldn't have those high expectations.
Definitely
It's
not.
sad, but it is the truth. It's sad, but it's the only high expectations that you should actually get. And I'm sorry to say this, but it's from like what you're raising up in your household, because you're raising up those seeds. It is what it is. I mean, look at the village. I mean, what is the village now? Like, it's just crazy. But I let the baton pass.
All right. Izzy, talk to me, man. You think the appreciation out here is more for the toolage, or you think it's more for the people in your personal opinion? Talk to me, Izzy.
Well, I think ideally you would want both But I think at first it is for the person that attracts you to appreciate them and whatnot. But I think, what ends up is it's for the toolage. I think that in society, you need to know, like a personality, is great and all, and hopefully they sustain the same personality from when you met until so on and so forth in the relationship. But I feel like with appreciate there's an appreciation for when you're able to do and sustain things, so when you're I don't know, Tulich is kind of abroad. Can you go into detail about that?
As far as what talking about, like diving deeper into like the toolage and that aspect.
Yeah, what do you mean when you mean what aspects of it are we talking about? Are we talking about
So it's one of those things where it's like, are you really more appreciative of the person genuinely for them, or are you simply, when I say toolage, or more so what it is that they can do for you? Because a lot of times people appreciate the work, not exactly appreciate you. So because you can benefit them in the fact that that's what they appreciate. Their appreciation is not aligned with you. They appreciate what you can bring. And the moment you fall out of your benefactor position, they typically, that appreciation goes out the window as well.
Oh
So,
yeah, then
that's what I was
absolutely.
asking. Do you see more of that appreciation, or do you stand more for the appreciation for the person or for the toolage, which is their usage?
Yeah, again, I think it starts off as the person that again attracts you to appreciate them. But I think all in all, we, as the relationship matures, I think that it's all for the toolage. Every single relationship, like it progresses into that, with your parents, with your children, your expectations rise, and you kind of again, there's unconditional love in that balances these things out. So you're still gonna love these people, regardless, I guess, of what happens and falls out, but I don't think that exists for everybody. But I think definitely um relationships sustain itself based off of what they can offer you, usually 9 times out of 10, just in a job, or just in man and woman, it's not an unconditional love between man and woman. I choose to be here, and vice versa. So it's what do you offer me?
Yeah. So I feel you. So I think overall, I think personally, my appreciation lies with the people and the people genuinely. I think Matt mentioned earlier about, what I'm saying, the toolage side being fleeting. And I totally agree with that. Like, I can't hold my, like, so I think, okay, so it will go like this. I don't hold everybody to the same regard, right? Some people I rock with because I rock with them for who they are, and some people I'm only rocking with them for what they can bring. So I think that for the people who I genuinely rock with, like the people who you would normally see me around, my appreciation lies in simply them and them alone. It's not about what they bring. It's not about all this other stuff. I rock with them for who they are as people. Now, when we get into this other side, I think my appreciation is only going to be for what you bring, because my only dealings with you is for what you could bring in the first place. You know what I'm saying? It's really not a line that we thread. Like, either I really rock with you to that extent, or I rock with you for your toolage anyway. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think it's a both factor with me. Like, if I rock with you as a person, I rock with you as a person, and I'm appreciative of who you are as a person, not by what you can bring. Like, I appreciate you for who you are. And, like I said, the other side, I'm only rocking with you for that usage anyway. So I'm very appreciative as long as you keep producing. The moment you stop producing, my appreciation declines. So I think that's where, that goes with that. So this question right here, and I ain't even gonna call y'all sim. I'm just whoever want to respond to it. Do y'all think that and I'm asking, it's gonna be two separate questions. It's gonna be double sided. So, do y'all think that men really appreciate the nurturing side of women in totality? Totality. Do y'all believe that men really appreciate the nurturing side of women in totality? Just for everybody, for whoever want to chime in.
I would say most definitely. I would say that's what most men are complaining about now, because most men aren't even getting the nurturing side. You know, I think that's the main thing we value a lot of times from female is the appreciation and the comfort and the supportive side that females kind of give towards you. But they're only giving that to kids nowadays and other females, you know. So I would say, especially for me, you know what I'm saying, definitely, I appreciate the nurturing side of a female. When it comes to me, not to just giving it towards their kid or something like that.
Anybody else who want to chime in on that? Do y'all think men are appreciating the nurturing side of women? Anybody? My women, y'all don't want to tackle it?
It's a motivating. Like,
I think it depends on the man.
Right.
A lot of
I do too.
if there's some men that don't even value like the whole like this whole red pill community that we talking about. They want a woman that cook and clean and they.
If women haven't been doing that over the last 30 years, how do they even know that guys are lying about it? How do you know that guys
you cannot say women in totality has not been doing that because you don't know every woman.
Yeah, I'm
so you cannot say that.
I'm generalizing.
You can't generalize it. You can't even
most
generalize
women,
that.
most women themselves are saying that. Most women themselves are saying
you can generalize.
You
can generalize it. Yes, we can.
They're saying that they self though. It's not like I'm saying that. Because Petra just said she's old school for doing it. Why would she say she old school? Why you think she would say she old school?
So
I'm not old school.
That would hint. There's a separation there, though.
Why would she say old school?
That would
hint.
Like
wasn't
I said,
happening.
A lot of women ain't embracing it like this.
Like I said, I think that's a loud minority of women that's saying that they don't cook and clean, and then you have all these men on the internet that say, okay, besides, I don't care about no cooking and cleaning. What could you bring me? What could you bring me? So if that's not something you value, then why is it even being brought up of like, oh, the women is not doing these days? But that's you saying that doesn't matter to you because you need something else, the woman to bring to you. So I don't know. I think it depends on the man. Because a lot of women nurturing aspects, a lot of men be saying like, they could pay somebody for that. Like the cooking, they could pay somebody to cook. The cleaning, they could pay somebody to do that. Huh?
What you consider nurturing?
And then some men say like, because a lot of men like to refer to like, oh, you're nurturing to your children. So do you want me to act the same way I act with my children with you? And then there's a lot of men that say like, oh, I don't want her being my mother or acting like she's my mother. When you want the nurturing, and mostly a lot of women tap into their nurturing side when it comes to their maternal instinct. So it's like, I don't know. It depends on the man. Like, it depends on the man and what you consider nurturing. Like, do you consider being affectionate, nurturing?
No,
like,
I asked you what
do you consider being nurturing?
No, I asked you what you
cannot
consider
answer
nurturing.
that for. I cannot.
No, for you.
For
you, you know, you a woman. What do you consider being nurturing for a woman? You a woman. You can answer that. You should be able to answer that better than me.
He asked me about you yourself now. He ain't
I can't.
Generally, he asked you to speak for yourself. You got to be able to speak for yourself.
I don't know.
That leads to my point that women ain't nurturing. You don't even know what it is. That's what I'm saying. So you know women ain't nurturing to do.
I know what it is, but I can't point to one specific thing that I'm saying that's me being nurturing because another person might consider that not being nurturing. So
yeah, wait. What you just said, you're trying to answer the question based off what other people think. I'm not asking you, or the question is not posed for you to be running in consideration of what other people think. It's about you addressing it from you. We're not trying to dive into the perception of other people. So that's why I agree with him when he said he's asking about you. Ain't nobody care what nobody else think. Keep that joint a buck. I need you to keep that joint as Brooklyn as you is. I need you to address it from who you are. Who you are. I don't care about what anybody else would chime into it. Tell us what you consider that to be. It don't matter what anybody else thinks. Because if y'all want me to do it, I can easily run y'all the literacy of the definition of what nurturing is. Because if we want to be frank, men have all them same nurturing abilities too. If we want to deal with the definition, so it's all about how y'all want to play this. It's all about how y'all want to play this thing. Because I'm a literal speaker, so I don't be caring about what none of this stuff we be talking about. I'm gonna be literal every step of the way. So that's the thing. I'm gonna go ahead and do this. Matter of fact, so to nurture, what nurturing is, nurturing literally by definition is to feed, is to protect. Nurturing means to support, to encourage, to bring up, to train. All these things are nurturing, and both parents share these nurturing abilities. Yes. I got sons and daughters. If I'm teaching and I'm training and I'm feeding, I'm protecting, dude, I'm doing a lot of nurturing here. That don't mean I'm the only one doing it, but there's still a lot of nurturing here if we want to deal with the literacy of it. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So whenever we start rationalizing perspective, see, one of the reasons why I jump at the idea of people worrying about perspective is because I deal with things in a literal sense. And it don't matter what your perspective is, because the literal sense is going to be what it's going to be. This is the concept, and I'm going to do a show about this, but this is the concept of actuality versus reality. Most of us try to dive into the reality of things. I'm the dude who's going to bring forth actuality. And our actuality does not change. No matter what you think, no matter how you want to go about it, actuality is actuality. Now, your reality is based upon your beliefs, your ideas, and all these other pretty things that you want to implement. That's your reality. But your actuality is different. So, I get the angle and the push. Sorry, y'all, if I went off. I typically do that from time to time. Y'all know me, so y'all know how I do.
It's okay.
So,
it's okay.
Who did go? Izzy, did you go on this?
I did not. I was just sitting back and watching everybody's input on everything. Well, I mean, I really think it I really hear what Caprice is saying. It really depends on the person, and I think it depends on two things. It depends on the person, because everybody's different and what they see as, how they want to be, loved and nurtured and things like that. And, it depends on the age, it's like, am I nurturing you because your mother hasn't finished raising you? Or is it because it's like me, being allowed to be my feminine self and me naturally, being nurturing to you, because that's how I feel naturally. Women are naturally nurturing. It's not something that we can block off. When we love and care and appreciate someone, we're going to nurture them. It's just who we are as people, so.
But if they don't appreciate men anymore, that wouldn't come naturally.
I mean, I don't think that's very true. It really depends on the guy. If you are the guy that's supposed to, if you are, doing what you need to do, everybody has problems in the relationship. But if you're doing what you need to do as a man and you're being loyal and you're being good, that will come naturally. I mean, I think the appreciation sometimes loses itself, or the nurturing aspect loses itself when you're, you're irresponsible or you're childlike, and I feel like I have no choice but to nurture you, to nurture this relationship.
I disagree. Because if most women want a certain type of guy and majority of guys aren't what women want, if we speak in general, because what was the question again, Kevin? Let me make sure I'm answering the question, because I thought they answering.
What was the question was, do men really appreciate women's nurturing ability?
Do men really appreciate women's nurturing ability? Okay, I got you. Yeah, so I'm on the right point. I was saying, yeah, they do, and they kind of went off into we kind of segue into how many women are really being nurturing today. So yeah, I mean, based on that, I don't see it. I see most people in general complaining, especially women, because I think social media has got these high expectations of what people see from a day-to-day basis, and you damn near have to save the whole world to have a woman say, okay, you're that guy nowadays. Because having a job, having a car, having a house used to be good enough at one time. Now that's not good enough. You can't take trips and we can't go shopping a lot and you can't spend a bag every now and then. These women aren't really appreciating these guys. And that's going to lead to them
And you
not
saying that's majority of women. You saying
true.
that's majority of women. You saying that's majority of women.
That's not true at all.
Not the bad part. Majority of women are complaining about something about the guy, whether it's sex, whether it's every guy. You ain't gonna get 100% of everything. People have unrealistic expectations. It might not get the bag, but you ain't gonna get in every relationship. You're gonna get 70, 80% at best. You ain't getting 100%. So you can always find something that you ain't getting from somebody. So if women are expecting to get 100%, they're always complaining about the 20%.
So you saying majority of women is expecting 100%?
I say majority of women are expecting 100% of what they personally want from a relationship. Yes, and the few things they can't get, they're complaining about it, and it's creating issues.
No, oh my God, no, they're not. That's not majority of women. That is not. You speaking from what you seeing on the internet and these loud minority of women, and then even those women just put an image out on the internet. Like people don't know the in and out to these women relationship. How they
No, they
act in a
don't.
relationship.
No,
they
they
put that
don't.
they put that out on the internet to save face. But I'm telling you, like they are doing what man.
But most
y'all gotta confuse with these internet people. Like you can't.
Most people today,
nurturing is like an intimate thing. Like you can't say you're not seeing people being. You can't see women being nurtured when that's an intimate thing. You're not in that relationship to know or to see how she's being nurturing. So I don't know. I can't say majority of women, especially when 100%. That is crazy.
Most dudes aren't breaking up with women. Most women are breaking up with dudes, even in relationships outside of marriages. And they show that if you go by the happiness rate.
Where's that stat?
Wait. Huh?
Where's that stat? That outside of marriage, women are breaking up with men outside of marriage. Where's that stat?
I'll put it on the next episode and I'll bring it up. I had people refer back to this episode. That's what I do. But
they wouldn't even make that type of stuff. They're not gonna go off a regular boyfriend and girlfriend relationship.
They definitely show that when women get in a relationship, their happiness dips lower because women have way more options as a single person to in a relationship, especially in these cities. I give you an example. If you're a single woman, you could go out on a different date every single night because there's a guy interested in most women. There's somebody that'll take this woman out. She could go out on a date every single night. She could get somebody to take her somewhere every single night. When she gets in a relationship with one guy, he's not going to fulfill what she was doing as a single person. So now she has all those expectations from that one guy of what she was getting as a single woman. And that one guy isn't going to be able to live up to what everybody was doing for her as a single woman. That happens a lot. That happens a lot.
How do you know? But how do you know that happens? That women single women. How do you know that single women are going on dates every day with a different guy? First of all, that's too much.
Because I've been in some of the hottest dating cities in the country, and I've seen it.
So you've been with these.
Yes, I've been with beautiful women.
Okay.
That they get hundreds of emails in the inbox. That guys everywhere I talk to, yes.
All right, beautiful is subjective, and if we going off like
even the average woman, even the average woman get more hits than a regular than a good looking guy.
But that don't mean she's going out with all of them. That don't mean
she's going out with all of them, but she's going out way more as a single person than one guy can give her. If 100 guys hit her up and she only go out with 10 of them, if she decides to get a relationship with one guy, he's not going to be able to live up to how she's been living as a single person. And that's why it's creating these expectations now.
But if that woman, it depends on that woman. If that woman wants to be in a relationship, she is not going to, man, she's not, if she get that one person, she's not going to be like, oh, you can't live up to the expectation of me going out on dates every night. If she wants a relationship. Now you're dealing with a woman that's just going out with men for meals. Like that's completely different. Like you can't say like a woman that wants to be in a relationship, she find the guy and then she like, oh well, I'm used to going out every day, so you're not doing that, so I can't be with you.
It creates a lifestyle for a woman that she expects it ain't gonna change. And when you get in a relationship, even when women get in marriages, it shows that that lifestyle don't keep up. Most guys, when you get married, people think more about saving. They think more about building towards the future. That's why a lot of women get in marriages and ain't happy no more because they thinking it's going to be just like the same life that they had. And a lot of things change once you be committed with one person. Things typically slow down.
That is not the reason. The top reason for divorces is finances and infidelity. So you can't say, because the lifestyle, the woman is leaving.
I say they become unhappy. I didn't say it was a top reason for divorce. I said a lot of women say they become unhappy because they get in a marriage, their lifestyle typically changes. They expect that this is going to last forever, and it's not.
So
I get what you're saying, and I could agree that is some women, but you keep trying to generalize it and say majority of women. You cannot put that statement out there like that, because I don't think it's majority of women. I do think it's some, but I don't think that's the majority.
If we listen to some of these, you say the internet, okay, but I mean we can't talk to everybody in the world, so all we can do is go by what we seen and what we personally experienced along with what we see on the internet. We have to go by everything. We can't just take one thing out. So I'm going by everything. Not only what I live, what I see as well. And how many times we see these women call on these shows, and every woman got a different reason why they wasn't happy. One woman don't like sex. Okay, why you break up with the next guy? He wasn't financially straight. Why you break up with the next guy? He didn't have the leadership capabilities. Every guy ain't gonna have all this into one guy. They look to have all this into one guy and create a Superman, and that's not gonna happen. You're gonna a guy that has great leadership. He might not have the money. A guy that had great leadership and money, he might not have the sex. Something's going to be missing. So they thinking that they're going to get this perfect guy because of Disney and everything, and that's not going to happen. I'm not saying that every relationship is broken up because of that. I was just saying that's why a lot of times women aren't being appreciative towards those guys, and it leads to them not being nurturing. And they compare every guy to what they see on social media nowadays.
Like I said, social media is a small minority. The people that's actually happily married, that's average people, are quiet. You don't hear from them.
So basically, what y'all really, debating is this whole concept of our opinions. You know what I'm saying? We really arguing about what we deem is to be the majority versus what we actually know is our empirical data and whatever may have you. I mean, at the end of the day, really all we can do is speak about where it is that we see and all these other things that come forward. So I don't think we should get too hung up on that, because ain't none of us really laying down statistics. And even if we talk a statistic, we got to be careful about how and where these statistics are being grabbed from. Because I'm a big strong component. And if you're gonna throw statistics up there, you better come with some receipts and all kind of stuff. Don't throw no statistics out here. You ain't ready to prove it. Because I'm one of them people too. I'll chop it up.
I'm ready. If I throw statistics out there, I ain't gonna I can prove it.
I think the disconnect.
So Matt, you believe in that? You believe in that statistic that 80% of women are leaving, are filing for divorce? You believe in that statistic?
I ain't stick that statistic.
No, but I'm asking you because that's the statistic. I think it's 70 to 80% of women file for divorce.
It sounds. If you ask me, do I believe? I don't know if it's a fact, but it sounds about right, because most men don't leave relationships. Most of the time, it's a woman leaving the relationship. It's a woman saying she's not happy.
So I'm saying based on that statistic, you think that it's the woman that actually wants to leave?
I think it's the woman that physically leave. I'm not saying that guys may have checked out of the relationship and don't want to do the paperwork. Sometimes guys will not be with a woman and they just don't want to go through the divorce, and a woman will go through the divorce, and that statistic will end up on the woman's side. So I believe some of that happens as well, but I think it's definitely more of the women filing than the dude that's actually filing. That don't mean the dude ain't actually left though.
So, I'm about to bring this back around to a more nicer side. My next question. This is my next question, people.
Petra ain't answer. I don't think a few people answer.
Well, remember the question that I said when I posed. I said I was going to ask about the nurture. I wasn't going to go around the panel. I said I was just going to do it.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Yeah.
I wanted her to say what you think about me. I wanted them to elaborate what they thought about me and Caprice just going back and forth.
I mean, we can do that too. Izzy, Patrick, Nate. What y'all think about this back and forth, this discourse that the fellow brother and sister was just had?
I feel like you both are in your own ways, but It's coming from what do you think personally, not what other people think.
See, for me, it's not even coming from what I think personally. I'm being objective about it. It's definitely coming from Matt personally. He said he out in these streets, all these cities, all these beautiful women that he come in contact with. I'm not stating none of that. I'm being objective to the fact that I cannot put majority of women on it because I don't know majority of women. So you cannot say that. But you can always count on me for discourse.
Miss Patrick, what you think, man? What you think about that back and forth, man? About the angles that you both present. What you think?
Again, I think definitely, maybe for Matt, definitely he have actually had experienced certain things. But I think we just have to be careful how we actually just voice it out. Like it's better just to do more of the statistics and have it right there, opposed to just speaking it from like, oh, I think, or whatever have you. And I'm just speaking this as a general thing. Because and then people are going to really assume that that's the real, assumption of a statistic, I don't know. But
No, I get what you're doing. I get what you're doing. Izzy, what you think about that discourse just now? What you think about it?
Well, I definitely see where like both people are coming from. It's hard. Like on one aspect, I see. I think like again, like I think like it's important to remain objective, and like I guess you can use like some personal experiences as references, but it's definitely like something that you need to be a little bit careful with to like not like make your personal experiences factual. So like
I think I was being objective, and Caprice told me, did I actually live that? You asked me, did I actually live
No,
that?
I
That's why
never
I
asked you that. No.
Yes, you did.
No, you said I'm out in these streets. I'm out in these
going by the
cities.
internet and stuff I'm hearing. Have I actually did it? So
I didn't
had
say
to bring
you.
in my
I said
personal when you
men.
asked me that question.
I didn't say no. I didn't say you. I said men are going about what they see on the internet. I didn't say you, Matt. I said men.
Okay.
Now, if you thought I was including you and
it's
you had
okay.
to say you had to say all the beautiful women you've been around in the cities
You
you've been in.
You said I'm
then,
going by.
I mean,
I'm going by YouTube and I'm going by what I'm hearing. Have I actually?
I didn't say that, but I didn't say that personally to you. I said men are going by YouTube and social media. I didn't say that personally to you.
All right, it's okay.
Seeing what Matt said is not the first time I heard a man say that, but again, and that's why I'm saying it's like it's everybody needs to I guess like proceed with caution when saying things like that, because from what I live, and what in my truth, that's not the case. So, and I'm sure like most of the women here can like say, they're saying it's not true because it's not who they are as people. So that's why it's like important to like really like speak in a more objective way, but I digress.
I would say personally, me seeing certain situations, most men will admit when they're at fault with a lot of things. I rarely, if you get women on any panel, I rarely see women say, you know what, I have made a lot of mistakes. A lot of this is true about women. Most women are going to say, every woman you talk to usually says, that's not my situation. I've never heard a woman say that is my situation. You know what, I was like that.
Oh my God.
So I mean, we could be.
I have to object.
It could be my
See, you keep using this most women. See,
yeah,
like,
that's the thing. You keep generalizing.
Say most women I see.
Like, I'm not.
How you gonna tell me most women I see ain't correct? I said most women I see.
Hey,
Okay.
Matt, it sound like they saying you sounding real red pill right now, brother. That's what it sounds like. Them
He
women saying.
is. He
They
know.
sound
He
like,
know
they
he
sound
adopted.
like they
He
say you
know he
sound
got
real red
adopted into
pill
the
right
red
now.
pill community. He
Nah,
know
I
he
ain't
got
adopted to
adopted into the
it.
red pill community.
Hey, I got red pill the hard way, not by YouTube. I got red pill the hard way by actually being out here. And being out here being naive.
So let's talk about this thing, right? So we talking about appreciation amongst relationships. Just for the light and for the fun of things.
But I appreciate you,
Tell me,
Matt.
I respect that.
no, we ain't doing that. Shut up, girl. So for the light of things, you know what I'm saying. What are some of the ways that y'all personally, idealistically, I'm gonna say idealistically, or we can just keep it personally, that y'all see are realms of showing appreciation to your spouse? You know what I'm saying? Just enlighten me on a couple of things that y'all see. We don't have to speak in general. Y'all can just tell me your own personal thing. So ain't no right or wrong, people. And then we can move it forward. So just talk to me. What are some of the things y'all view as ways of showing appreciation to your spouse? Nate, talk to me, man.
I mean, it's something as simple as doing the dishes or vacuuming the house, washing their car, taking them out to get something to eat when it's not a special occasion. Those are ways you can show appreciation.
Caprice, talk to me. What are some of the ways you believe that your way of showing appreciation to your spouse?
The way I show it is just by, I don't know, I just like doing stuff without you even have to ask me to do it. Or like say if it's like just a relationship or a friendship, like we're not living together, like if you come over to my house, you won't have to worry about nothing, and I pay attention to you enough to I know what you like to drink, I know what you like to eat. I mean, it might be spicy if you can handle it, because I like spicy food. But if you don't like it, then I'll just take the spice out. But when you come in my presence, you ain't gotta step foot out here for nothing.
All right. Izzy, what are some of the ways you see to show appreciation to your spouse?
I think overall, kind of backpedaling on like what Caprice said, like, I feel like listening when you're communicated to is really important, because then you're going to understand how to like love that person. Everybody has their different love language. So when you listen to them, and when you're able to do things for that person based on what you listened to that they told you or observed, it's going to let them know, like, oh my gosh, I'm seen, I'm heard, this person, this I'm valuable to this person because they've cared enough to listen to me and actually like do things that they know personally would make me feel better. So
Okay,
that's what
okay.
I think.
Miss Petra, talk to me. What are some of the ways you believe in showing your appreciation to your spouse?
Well, I definitely, if we're about to go for an outing, I iron their clothes. Definitely, I shoot him a text, a random text, even though he probably got me upset the night before, but and um, just little things. Definitely, I think everybody else had actually summed up what I would normally do. I definitely prepare food, or I do, you know. But definitely, I pray for them. I grab their hand and randomly I pray. And especially if they're having a rough day or they're about to encounter something that it's unknown, I pray for them. I pray for their loved ones. So these are things that it's embedded in me already. So and I don't mind doing that for not only for my loved one but for anybody. So
Okay,
I'm
okay.
always extra so or whatever.
Matt, talk to me, man. What are some of the ways you believe in showing the appreciation to your spouse, man?
I think everybody summed it up. Everybody pretty much had good answers, I feel. I definitely would say, personally, like I easily said, listening to your spouse, knowing what they like, knowing what to make them happy and doing things without them having to ask you to do it. I think it seems more sincere if you're doing it and it doesn't benefit you. Like, say example, I know my woman is a deep person, she like to read books. So I may just go out and, get her Maya Angelou book or something like that, or something that may inspire her without her knowing. Say example, I know she like fragrances or something like that. I may go in and get her some nice candles and have in her room for she come home, she can relax and have a bath. It ain't benefiting me, you know what I'm saying? It's something that's, of course, it's benefiting me because I make her a better person. I got to live with her, but it's something that I'm doing just for the benefit of, I know you like to do this. It could be something simple like, hey, I don't always watch the show like that. I'm gonna watch the show with my baby tonight. You know what I'm saying? Give us some company just to show her, I'm on the same page. I want to be around you. Like, I think it's simple things like that.
So yeah, I agree. I think that there's a natural side of how people naturally move when they show their appreciation, but then I think you also got to pay attention to that person as well. It's just like when people get in conversations and they talk about like love language and stuff like that. Like, you have to be aware or conscious of the way that they like to receive certain things as well too. Because sometimes you might only be in your own avenue or your own lane, and that person might not reciprocate it in the same manner. So I think you have a natural side to it, and I think that you also have to be aware of the way that person likes to see their appreciation and affection and all of these things as well. I think if you put those things together and you move with it, I don't think you can really go wrong, especially if you pay attention. I think I'm one of the people who always say you treat women like college, man. Listen, I study when you pass so I don't fail you. Simple as that. So I think that, when you move it that manner, I think you'll be okay. You know what I'm saying? All right, guys, listen, I got one more for us, y'all. So y'all know in the time that we live in, right? We hear people always talk about, how people be using this word toxicity. And, personally, I'd be kind of confused because when I hear people say like toxic masculinity and they get the naming off what that is, I'd be like, well, dog, that just sounds like regular man stuff. And then when I hear people be talking about toxic femininity, I'd be like, well, dang, that kind of just sounds like regular female stuff. So one of the things I want to understand, I want to pose this question to you guys is there really a level of appreciation if we call these natural things about each other toxicity? Like, if we call these things toxic, how is there really an appreciation for it? And I'm pretty sure y'all hear these things a lot. So we're going to dive into that. Is it really an appreciation for it when we are calling these things and these attributes of each other toxic? Is it? Talk to me. Let's go.
Well, I'm going to need you to elaborate on some of the things that you would even call toxic in both men and women, just for me to answer that correctly.
I got you. So you'll hear, I'll do both sides. You'll hear women chime in when they're talking about like men. They'll talk about like some of the disciplinary methods that men apply, or some of like, especially like when it even comes to like dealing with just like men dealing with their sons. You'll hear certain approaches that men take, which are probably old-fashioned more than least. You'll hear women be like, yo, that's very toxic. Why you got to go about it this way? Why you still grabbing the belt? Why you still got to do it this way? You know what I'm saying? Some people are out here saying that's a toxic behavior. When you see men, even in relationships, when you see men do a leadership thing and they take charge, and they be like, listen here, nah, that's my job. I'm gonna guide you. This is what we gonna do. They gonna be like, well, that's toxic because you're not appeasing her feelings and the way she want to go about it. You just taking charge without considering the partner aspect of it. People point that out as being toxic. You know what I'm saying? From the women's side, of course, men always speak to the concept of when not being what's the word? What's the term they use? What's the term? What's the term you use? Matt, help me out.
Men not being what?
What's the way? What you hear when men be they be saying women aren't being feminine. When women aren't what's the term they be using? There you go. That's a common one. That's the one I was trying to jog in my mind. When they be like, yo, women are being submissive. You know what I'm saying? When women are too combative. You know what I'm saying? When women they always challenging every single thing. Men like to say, yo, that's her not being, feminine. They call that a toxic behavior, things of that nature. So yeah, on both sides, it's like things that you see that are
But
more
is that
natural things that come with
but
it.
is that
People
called
are
toxic
calling.
femininity?
Well, people say on both sides. There are people who point out toxic masculinity and toxic femininity. So
No,
that's why
I'm
my
saying
question
what
is.
the example that you use is not that's just a toxic person. Toxic femininity, I
But
think they
people,
say
no, no,
is
no, no,
like
no, no, no,
she
no.
using
But
her femininity, she using her femininity to get certain things out of a man. That's when they say it's toxic femininity.
they
Like,
call the behavior toxic in general too, especially if she uses it in a challenging way amongst men. That's usually what they call tax. Usually
yeah,
when they
yeah,
have
I
to
agree.
go
I
in,
agree with the behavior, but the term toxic femininity, they basically saying like she using her like the feminine aspect, like her body or her looks to get certain things out of a man, or how she
well, that's
moves
a
or how
part
she
of it.
talk to men just to get.
That's a part of it. But the other side still holds its weight as well. That's a part of it. All these things are inclusive to what people contribute to that toxicity. Know what I'm saying? It's not really a separation of it. All these things are included because, of course, we're talking to particular men. They're going to have particular things that they hold more toxic than others. But I was just naming overall because I don't believe there's a toxic masculinity or a toxic femininity at all. So I'm just
Me
pointing
neither.
out things I've heard people say because I don't believe this exists. We're dealing with me personally. I usually like to go last, but since we posing this, I don't believe that it exists. But this is a very common thing, and it's very loud out here of women saying that this is a toxic masculinity of things men do, and men saying there's a toxic femininity of what women do. So I was just giving Izzy those examples because she asked for clarification. So Izzy, if that helped.
It did help. I'm trying to like, construct an answer where it's like, it's hard because like I do like are you asking like whether like it's is it real like the whole like toxic like masculinity and like femininity thing or like what were you asking?
So no, the question is it really appreciation when those natural aspects people are calling toxic? Because you can't say that you appreciate me as a man for doing these things if you've been telling me that it's a toxic behavior. And vice versa. I can't be saying I appreciate it if the woman do these things if I'm then on the other hand saying that this is a toxic behavior. So my question is it really appreciation if we're deeming these things as toxicity?
I I don't think so. I mean, I don't think so. I mean, if you're like in that statement alone, like, deeming something as toxic is deeming something as, something negative about you. So I don't think you're going to be appreciated as something that, you deem as like toxic. But I think like if you are with that person and, are fell in love with that person, whatever have you, I think, that does say a lot more about you and what you attract. So I think, maybe like both, I think both at that point, it's like you can't even, it's like, the pot calling the kettle black, you have to be toxic in a way. Like, who are you if you're gonna like accuse someone else of being toxic? Okay, so then like, at that point, it's like, okay, so like, what's toxic in you that's attracted to that person, So I think it's like, it depends on like what angle you look at it. But I feel like if, that person is out here like calling their partner or other men like toxic, I think there's like things that are toxic about them as well, truly. If that's the relationship. In general, like, like I just think that like I don't know. I'm not gonna speak generally, like, but yeah, I'm gonna just leave it at that.
Women don't
Like
like
that.
no judgment, boy. Wonder why that is.
You say they don't like no
Wait, come
judge.
again?
I said women do not like any judgment. Everything is if you say it, it must be in you. They don't like no judgment. I said, I wonder why that is.
Are you
But to
speaking to
each
the
their own.
accountability? Are you speaking to an accountability factor?
Yeah, yeah. They don't like no
But
accountability, no
she didn't
judgment.
just say on the men's side. She said like if you're pointing out something toxic in that person, then you might be toxic yourself
That
if it's
I never,
something that
I
they
yeah.
never, I
naturally
No,
never
no,
said,
do.
I never
that's
said,
what he's pointing out though. But he's
yeah.
pointing out that women look at it like that. Like women got a viewance of, oh, there is not that. Men will be like, nah, dog, that's some bull. That's time. Like, we'll go ahead and claim it. We're not play a, oh well, she, that might not
Women,
be.
it's always, it's not everybody. Well, if you say it, I
Yeah,
hope you're a
I
person
get
to
what
be
you're saying.
saying it. It's a lot more of that. It's a lot more of that. Only God can judge me. No one can have that type of stuff. But
Now
continue
I
on.
understand what you're
dumb.
saying. Caprice, well, talk to me, man. What you think about that? Is it really appreciation that we keep claiming that these roles or we're labeling these roles as toxic that we see people put forward?
No, it's not appreciated because everybody is having their own perception of what they deem feminine or masculine. And once you do something that they don't like, then it's becoming toxic. Just because they're not familiar with these actually terms mean and how people are really supposed to move when they're in their femininity or in their masculinity. So people are projecting what they want, how they want a woman to be feminine and how they want a man to be masculine. So they going off their own perception than what it really is, and they deem it toxic. Like I don't even believe in masculinity being toxic or feminine being toxic. Maybe the person their self has toxic traits, but when it comes to their femininity or masculinity, I don't believe you could deem that toxic. They're just not familiar with it.
Cool. Miss Petra, what you think? I think you're on mute too.
Yeah, no, I did that deliberately.
Yeah. 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 You good. So what you think about it? Do you how do we is there really an appreciation when you hear a lot of people are deeming what the men and women do as toxic? Is there really an appreciation there?
It's that's so it's when you say men and women, it's general, you know. So again, that would be, I guess, a 50-50 because we're saying this as a whole. But but saying it more like more general as far as like me interacting with someone, and I'm speaking for myself, it will be genuine, it will be appreciative, but it won't be toxic. um Once I know and sense something that's being about to be toxic, then it's cut off. I don't have time for that. So but when it comes to that men and women type of appreciation, it's definitely it could be a 50-50 in that aspect, because we're talking about two different things right there. um but I would say this, for the most part it's much more toxic right now, again, because of the values and morals. There's none nowadays. Like, it's out the door.
All right, Nate, talk to me, man. Is it really appreciation, man, when we out here calling these roles toxic?
No, I don't think there's any appreciation.
See, Nate be keeping that thing simple. Nate say he ain't even playing with y'all. Hey, look, dog, it ain't that. Yeah, like
All
that.
right, I think
Matt, I know you got trying to think. Did you actually answer the question?
What's
Nate,
up?
did you? I mean, Matt, did you actually answer the question?
nah. I'm gonna answer it now. I kind of agree with what Nate said as far as just the straightforward answer. It's not a lot of appreciation when you think both things are toxic. Now, I will say you can have appreciation with a person. You can have appreciation for a person and realize they have toxic traits. I don't think it's a either or. Because I think you can like, say example, a parent, you can have a mother that's toxic in raising you, and you can know that she's toxic, but still have appreciation for the things that she does do to benefit you. That's the example. And another example is like Caprice is one of the most toxic females in the world, right? And we got appreciation
Wait,
for
who?
her.
Wait, what? Nah, don't use me as
Like,
what?
the reason why
Wait,
I knew
hold
she was gonna respond. I don't know why he using her as an
no, you
example. You know
cannot
she
do
was
this on this
respond.
internet. You cannot do this on this internet. Somebody
I
can
just
clip this up and be
did.
like, he said Caprice was toxic. Like,
She
no,
about one of
you
the most
cannot
toxic
do
females in
that.
the
You
world, right?
cannot do that. And
Are,
I think you
are,
And we
answering.
appreciate her.
I think you answering the
are you saying that
question
because she's from
wrong. I
Brooklyn?
don't think.
I'm
No,
just messing with you. I clarified. I'm just,
I mean,
I
I'm
think you
joking.
I mean,
answering the.
if you're saying
But
that because she's from up north, you know them York.
Yeah, I'm trying to get a little laugh up here.
Some toxic women now. I mean, we're gonna be challenging.
First of all, why you have to dox me like that? Why do
I'm
people?
just saying,
Why
they are
pretty.
pretty. They're pretty aggressive and all.
Why are
these
you
things
doxing me? Why you have to let people know where I'm from? Like, what if I don't want that on the internet?
I'm pretty sure they can hear it in the way that you talk. They can hear you talking and all that other stuff like that.
And I think you said it before on the cast anyway.
Yeah, she did.
No, I never said that.
I think you did in one of the episodes.
Nah, I mean, I pointed it out because it was an extra episode. It was one of the other episodes.
He said that. I didn't say nothing.
Half the panel was actually from.
He gotta always let it be known where I'm from. Like that makes it different.
But
I think you answering the question wrong. He's saying like toxic masculinity and toxic femininity.
No, but the main thing he was saying
just toxic. Period.
The main thing he was saying was appreciating each other, and I just gave that as a joke. And I was gonna say,
no,
I don't believe in toxic
femininity. Repeat the question.
So the question was simple. I mean, is it really appreciation if we're viewing and labeling these roles that we have as toxic?
Yes.
The roles of masculinity and femininity.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now I was gonna say I answered that at first. Now I was gonna say I made a joke about you, but now I'm gonna say I do believe in toxic. I know Kevin at the beginning you said you don't believe in toxic masculinity. I do believe that exists, to extremes. I believe I would use the example of it's people out here that anytime something happens to them, they feel like I had to kill you, or they believe going to jail is tough. It's a lot of people out here that they said they grew up like. I heard a lot of people that say, not a lot of people, but I've heard a few people say that going to jail gave them strikes. Going to prison was something they look forward to. I think people that have that hyper aggression, like you can't even talk to them, or they believe you should die for this and this, I believe that's when that masculinity becomes toxic. So there's some people that believe you don't do certain things that they are not a man, or they're less than based on their environment they grew up in. So they believe going to prison and getting shot and stuff is part of being a man. I would say that what I would consider.
So I would agree with what you're saying, but that would go back into what Capri said about channeling just the directness of what people are doing in their actions itself. I wouldn't tie that into how people are literally performing that as far as masculinity and then femininity.
No, I agree.
I think there is a thing as toxic behavior, but when you hear people talk about masculinity, a lot of the things that they be calling toxic be like regular masculine things.
But that's what I'm about to say. But you talk
about femininity, it be regular feminine things. So when I say I don't believe in that, I'm talking about the masculine and the feminine thing. Now there is a thing as toxic behavior.
Well, I'm going by when I first, me personally, I'm not saying this is when it first started, but I'm going when I first hear people using the word toxic masculinity. Now, over time, things get watered down. They start using stuff for everything. So nowadays, people use it for anything. But originally, when I heard toxic masculinity used, it was for those reasons, like people feeling like, oh, you said something out my way, I got to shoot you. Like people used to use it for that, but now people throw it on anything. So I would say today, it's overused. And to go back to the original question and wrap it up, I do believe you can appreciate somebody, but know that they got toxic behaviors and just don't like that side of them. But before you end the panel, I got a question I want to ask the females. But go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead. After this, we was about to go into an appreciative moment. So go ahead, do your thing.
Okay, I thought so. All right. So let me see how I'm gonna break this down. All right, so like me, I start.
Be careful. Look, be careful because they kind of already thinking you red pill. So before you pose this question, make sure you got your clarity there. Now go ahead, do your thing, man. Do your thing.
Okay. So I'm gonna start with you, KJ, but I'm gonna gear it towards the females, but you're gonna kind of know what I'm talking about. So like when me and you we talk about stuff that people may say about like us as black people in general or us as men, and we say it puts like a stereotype. We talk stereotypes are real though, but me and you always say that even though stereotypes are real, when you meet a person, you can overcome those, right? Because at the end of the day, when you have one-on-one, people are going to judge you by that. So I always hear females say, whether it's on this show or even in my interactions, I always hear females not like generalizations being used. So I would like to ask the females on this show, do y'all think generalizations affect y'all? And if so, do y'all think it affects y'all to the point y'all can't overcome that? Because even if people say things true, y'all hate to have to use it. Say black women do this, y'all get super aggressive about it. So do y'all think that's something that y'all can't overcome? Do you think people go more off generalizations or personal interactions with y'all when y'all meet people? So I would start with, Izzy, and then go that way.
So wait, you were saying what about
Do you
generalizations?
think personal generalizations doom you, or do you think you can change those? I mean, let me rephrase it. My fault. Do you think personal generalizations weigh more than your personal interactions with people? Which one you think weigh more, the generalization of you or the personal interaction?
I mean, I think that like I don't like generalizations about like really a lot of things, just because it's like with generalizations, you can literally generalize anything. You can say anything generally just to like, and I feel like you can do that. People say generally so they don't have anything that's like, you can't like, point your finger at me and be mad at me if like the thing that I said generally wasn't really like, something that like is applicable to you. Like I think like, generalizing anything is just like a way of like,
Well,
saying something without actually dedicating yourself to it at the
I
same
got, I
time,
got, I get that. Do you think when you meet a guy, or you go on a job interview, or you're in a walk of life, you walk into a public place, do you think your personal interaction with that person or the generalization of you, which one is going to weigh more in the person's perception of you if they actually deal with you?
If they don't actually get to know me like on like a more than surface level, that's probably going to be something generalized, probably. That's just everybody. Everybody has like a generalization about like, age, sex, you know.
So you
Uh,
think you meet a person, if you meet a person and you have a conversation with them, not a deep conversation, but a regular conversation, you think the generalization of you weighs more than that personal interaction on how you carry yourself, how you communicate with them, the things y'all talk about?
But if it's brief, how can that person get all that from that?
exactly. Like
It will
it's
be
hard to tell.
generalized. It will be their
It will.
perception of you because they don't know. It's a brief conversation. But I thought you was asking first, like, do we take generalizations personal? Like, do we care
Well,
if
I
people
know y'all take it.
generalize us? No,
Okay,
I
so
don't
you
take it
agree.
personal.
Well, you
I
agree.
don't
You
take
agree with.
generalizations personal.
I get that, but
I'm
you
just
agree with.
objective.
But you agree
Go
with.
ahead.
You agree with Izzy. Even when you meet a person and you have a conversation with them, the generalization of you weighs more than that personal conversation.
I'm saying
Because like,
if you saying it's a brief conversation, then their perception will weigh heavy because they really can't go off of nothing but that small conversation. Who get in a deep conversation, a brief deep conversation? Like, no, it will be their perception. And if you before you even talk to the person, you have a perception of them based on how they look, how they dress, how they carrying themselves. So you're not gonna be able to escape somebody's perception of you until they get to know you. But for me, do I take it personal how somebody perceive me? No, I don't. And do I take generalizations personal? No, I don't. I just feel like if we on these channels, we have to be unless the question say your personal view, then we could speak on our personal view. But I'd rather just be objective to broad questions that don't ask us to be personal because I
But
cannot put everybody in one box.
I heard that a few times, like that's kind of contradiction to say you can't be personal, but you can't be general either. You either going to be personal
I
or
didn't
you're going
say
to be
that.
general.
No, I did.
No, but I've heard you say about not being personal, and I've heard Izzy and Petra say of not being general. So I mean, it's going to be one or the other. If you're not being personal, you're going to have to go by what you're seeing outside of your personal experience.
I said if the question is
I'm not saying
asking
what you
me
just said.
personally,
I'm not saying what you just personally said. I'm saying over the whole show. There's some women that's saying you can't be personal because it's just your anecdotal. Then there's some people saying you can't be general. So I mean, it's kind of conflicted. You know what I'm saying?
How intimate
what
are you like
you
trying to get with the person that is generalizing you though? You have to like there's like there's only gonna be like an amount of like there's it's gonna be pretty much surface. So anything that I would say, whether it's I don't expect it to be deep within like,
I'm gonna
however
let
long this conversation is going, it's gonna be general,
I'm gonna let
like
I'm gonna let Petra go, but I'm gonna ask KJ this one thing. KJ, in the first 5 minutes, can you change a person's perception of what's generalized about us as black men?
In the first 5 minutes, can I change what is generalized about us?
About you personally, my fault. About you personally.
Oh.
I don't think it take all this deep conversation and long knowing and all this. I think when I come across most people, the way you approach them, the way you carry yourself, I believe in the first few minutes, they don't perceive me as how they perceive a lot of other people. I don't think it take all this.
So my answer to that would be no, because it would depend on the individual. Like if it's an individual who are hard, like say if it's an individual who's already hell bent on a stereotype, it'll take more than them first initial sex, seconds to get to that point in them. Like if they already hell bent, like I'm a criminal or whatever may have you, it's probably gonna take a little bit more time to convince these people that I'm a little different than that. So I think overall, no, you can't really.
I don't think most people
really do it if they're already in their mind or typically choosing to run with something. No, you can't. But if it's somebody who's just unsure about how to take you, I definitely think you can do it if they're open-minded going into it. But if they set going into it, no, hell, it's gonna take work. You gotta prove something.
Yeah,
versus the other side, you don't have to prove something.
I agree with you on that, but I don't think most people go into people that they meet thinking that they're definitely this. I think more people that get generalized, they're more scared of other people thinking that way than actually people are. Now that's just my belief. I don't believe most people actually think that every person I meet because I heard the generalization is going to be like this.
I believe it could be taken many ways. If you take me for example, I always say this, and everybody who rock with me always hear me say this. The last thing I want you to mistake me is as a nice guy. Like I say this all the time. Like I don't want to be mistaken as a nice guy. I want you to walk with precaution when you're around me. I don't want you to make the assumption that I'm a nice person. Now I can be a cool person, but I don't want to be misassociated with a nice person. Because when you associate me as a nice person, see, you're gonna put yourself in a realm where you're gonna try me. And then you're gonna see the demons that typically are unleashed when I'm confronted. So then I'm gonna change your whole world and perspective of me. So I don't want you to ever mistake me or label me as a nice guy off the rip. But if you name me, okay, he's a cool person. Yeah, I'm willing to be cool, but just don't place me as a nice guy. You know what I'm saying? Because I know nice guys they get the bad end of the stick, and I'm not the one. So we just talk perspective.
What you think about the question, Miss Petra? You're on mute. You just got to talk.
I'm just listening to y'all. Everything for me is just a little bit. It's definitely how you interact the person. I don't know as far as like the engagement. Like if you was to actually, I guess just meet a person at a bar or something. Your generalization of the person, of course, you have to be precaution, like, or how about a different setting at a job, you have to be precaution if the person is trying to cutthroat you as far as getting all your sales or whatever have you. I don't know, but
I got you. I think generalizations are positive. I think people try to avoid them. I think you need that to keep you on point. If somebody say 70% of people, if there's a stat that says 70% of people in this area is crime, I'm not going to move in that neighborhood. So, I don't know why people get so upset or offended by generalization. If it's a true generalization, I don't have an issue with it if it's true. Now, if people throwing false things out there, then it would be an issue. But if it's true, you need that to actually keep you on point. You can't be naive and say, oh, I don't want to judge nobody. I don't want to have a perception of anything. I just want to treat everybody like we all angels, and whatever happens, happens. Now, I think you need some generalizations.
Right.
I agree. I think in the realm of when we talking, I think generalizations are good, except for when we get into the realm of really trying to teach people. I think we're really in the realm of trying to teach people. I think we need to home in a little differently than being general, because I think that generalization sometimes it can be very misleading. So I know you mentioned about positive and negative, but that comes with generalizations. You can have positives and negatives. So if we know it got a way on both ends, you probably need to be more specific coming out the gate than being general. You know me. I'm one of the people, if I'm talking to you, I'd rather deal with you directly than to talk generality. I think generality don't benefit us at all. Because if I'm really trying to help you, I need to talk to you and what will your issues be, and we need to talk direct. I don't see how if I'm talking to Izzy and I'm being easy having a conversation about some stuff, how being general gonna help either one of our situations. If me and her talking, no, we need to be talking very direct and specific about what we're talking about. The same way if I'm talking to any individual on this panel, I think we need to be super specific when we're talking about being productive and benefiting, people in whatever it is that
Yeah,
they're
if you're
going.
having a one-on-one, if you're
I
trying
don't
to
see
teach
how
them
generalization help at all in that.
yeah, if you're having a one-on-one perspective, I agree. I mean, one-on-one conversation, you're trying to actually teach. I agree with that.
Yeah. All right, guys.
I agree, but I don't even think it's just like a one-on-one situation. If you're public and you're putting out information, I think you need to give both sides of the information. You cannot be general like that, because people will run with that information, and then that will be all that they know, and that's how they will move forward in their life. If we use these things of all men are this way, then and women are listening. Those women might not do the research to be like, well, this is really not all men. And then they'll go by, this is all men, and then they'll project in their life. It's in the same way as what men do to women. Like, if you generalize it and men are listening, how you think like all these incels and red pill got all this rage and stuff? Because they have listened to one part without doing research, go off their personal experiences, and then that's how they live. They project that through their life. So I still think even in the public platform, you still have to give both sides of the information and not just be so generalized, because it can be bad for that person that's listening that don't do research.
I would say it's based on how the question is proposed to you. The question is proposed on the individual level, yeah, but the question is proposed to you on what do you see in these relationships. Then, I mean, being specific would be directly answering the question. So, I mean, I would say it's based on how each question is laid out,
But yeah, so most definitely. Okay, guys, we have come to a conclusion. So, right now I'm about to have y'all give y'all plugs, because I understand the era we in. But before y'all give y'all plugs, I need y'all to check this one.
Nice.
My brother, my vocal vision brother, you know what I'm saying, KFC, he definitely got the book out. It's definitely a dope book. Finding the New You is good read, people. Good read, people. But, we all got a lot of great things we about to try to bring to this table. So I want everybody to run their plugs and go ahead and tell the people where they can find you. I'm going to definitely start at the bottom. Izzy, let the people know where they can find you.
You guys can follow me at IzzyOjo94 on Instagram. And that's pretty much all I have for you.
All right, Miss Petra, tell the people where they can find you.
They could find me at Ariel Skincare and IG.
All right, Nate, tell the people where they can find you.
You can find me on IG at LK_Heyo.
Okay. Matt, tell the people where they can find you.
I'll still say coming soon, man, until we get there.
All right, cool. I ain't even got to ask Caprice. Caprice already told y'all y'all ain't gonna be able to find her. So of course y'all know if y'all looking for my twin, y'all gonna have to look for me. That's the only way y'all gonna find my twin. So, all right, people, this was another good one. We'll holler at y'all. We are most definitely out.